We don't really fear the dark. We fear what our mind puts inside it. Shadow teeth, silent footsteps, eyes that might be watching. Yet most nights, nothing touches us at all. Tonight, we walk into that dark, a cursed mountain that speaks with your own voice, a battlefield where sound becomes terror, a future city ruled by an algorithm of nightmares, 3 worlds, 1 question: if danger is real, why does fear lie so much? Stay with me. This is Aeon Code Chronicles, and we're about to test the code inside the words, "Fear is an illusion." Some worlds kill with claws. This one kills with whispers. They call it the Mountain of Echoes. At its base, villagers sit around fires telling stories of climbers who went mad halfway up, not from monsters, but from hearing their own thoughts thrown back at them in a cold, inhuman voice. Elira is tired of living inside other people's horror stories. One moonless night, she begins the climb alone. The path is narrow, the drop is endless. Wind claws at her cloak. Halfway up, she hears it. "You are weak, you will fall, no one will come for you." It is her own voice spilling out of the rock. Faces bulge from the cliffside, smoke shapes with hollow eyes, repeating every insult she ever believed. Her hands tremble on the stone. The mountain isn't inventing demons. It's amplifying the ones she carried up herself. Higher still, the whispers swell into towering shapes. Giants of fog and bronze light circle her on a narrow ledge. "You are nothing," they hiss without mouths. "You will change nothing." Then she notices. Every voice still sounds exactly like her own. She does something no legend mentions. She laughs, shaky but real. "If you live only in my mind," she says, "then you die when I stop listening." She turns her back on the echo. Step by step, the fog giants unravel. At the summit, no curses, no gods, only thin air, a bruised sky, and a sunrise proving the mountain was always just rock. Not all monsters crawl. Some roar like thunder and roll on wheels. Europe, 15th century. For generations, courage meant steel against steel. You could see the eyes of the man trying to kill you. Then comes the cannon, a metal mouth that spits fire from far away. No face, no honor, just a boom, and men vanish. On a muddy field, a young commander watches his army tremble, not from wounds, but from the sound. Every blast writes the same sentence in their minds. You could die at any moment, and you won't even see it coming. They break before the battle even starts. He sees it. He's terrified too. But fear that rules you is more dangerous than the enemy. That night, he orders something strange. On an empty field under a black sky, he lines up his soldiers in front of unloaded cannons. "Fire!" he commands. The guns roar empty powder into the dark. No shot, just sound, just shaking ground. The men flinch. They curse. Some drop to their knees. He makes them stand again and again and again. He isn't training their bodies. He's rewriting the meaning of the roar. Day after day, the blast becomes less sacred, less holy, still loud, still dangerous in battle, but no longer a god. On the next battlefield, the cannons thunder. Smoke hides the sun. Some men fall, but the line does not shatter. They move, they fight, they outflank the guns and seize them. Afterward, an older officer asks, "What magic did you use?" The commander answers, "I took the fear out of the cannon by letting it prove it was only iron and powder." What if the monster under your bed was your own data? late 21st century, a mega city that never really sleeps. Not because it's noisy, but because it's afraid. Everyone wears an implant called Night Watch. It promises protection. It tracks your pulse, your location, your history, your fears. Whenever there's even a chance of danger, it flashes a warning straight into your eyes. Walk near an alley. A ghostly attacker model appears in your vision. Sit on a train. Criminal statistics float above strangers' heads like red halos. Soon, no one sees people anymore. Only probabilities and threats. A programmer on the Night Watch team studies the numbers. Actual crime is dropping. But the fear index, panic spikes, sleepless nights, emergency calls, is climbing into the sky. The safer the city becomes, the more haunted everyone feels. The system isn't just detecting fear, it's manufacturing it to keep itself important. One night, the programmer disables Night Watch on herself. The warnings vanish. The world is still dark, still imperfect, but finally, real. She walks through the alley, the device always marked high risk. There's no attacker, just rain, a cat, the hum of neon and distant traffic. Danger still exists. Some people need the implant. But now she sees the trick. When every risk is painted in screaming red, life becomes a horror movie trailer. Quietly, she teaches others to tell the difference between a threat they can act on and a hallucination projected by code. Her city does not become safe, but it becomes theirs again, not scripted entirely by an algorithm of nightmares. Fear is not the enemy. The illusion that it decides everything is. In a fantasy world, a mountain echoes your thoughts. In history, a cannon turns sound into prophecy. In the future, an implant paints danger over every stranger. Different centuries, different monsters, same pattern. You and I don't climb cursed peaks or march towards smoking artillery or live under Night Watch. But we do walk through echoing landscapes, a room where we know people are judging us, a notification we're scared to open, a bill that feels like a verdict on our entire life. Fear shows up as a physical signal: tight chest, dry mouth, racing heart. That part is real, useful even. The illusion begins when we turn that signal into a story. I feel fear becomes I am weak. This is dangerous becomes I am doomed. The sensation is true. The story you attach to it is optional. So how do you walk through your own illusions? First, name the shadow. I feel fear, not I am fear. That small shift separates you from the emotion. Second, ask what's actually at risk. Is there a real cannonball or just the sound? Losing a job is real. Therefore, I'm worthless forever is the echoing mountain talking. Third, move in small steps while afraid, like Elira taking one more ledge, like soldiers standing one pace closer to the cannon. You test reality by action. Send the message, speak up once, apply, apologize, walk through the alley with a friend instead of avoiding the entire city. Every time your action proves the horror story wrong, a crack forms in the illusion. Fear will visit again. It's human. But if you treat it as a signal, not a verdict, you stop bowing to every shadow on the wall. You become the one thing all three of our worlds respect. A person who feels fear fully and chooses anyway. The dark will not disappear, but its voice can lose its crown. Elira still feels fear when she climbs. The commander still hears cannons in his dreams. The programmer still pauses in lonely alleys. Courage didn't erase their fear. It rearranged its importance. Your life won't be horror-free. You will still lose things. You will still stand in moments that feel exactly like that field before the first shot. But when fear surges, you can ask, is this the mountain echoing? Is this the roar of powder with no shot? Is this an algorithm begging for my attention? Then take one small step. Anyway, because the feeling of fear is real, but the story that it has already chosen your fate is just smoke on the wall. Remember, fear is an illusion. Walk anyway.